Hello, welcome back to my channel. I'm Maxine Whitfield, and I'm a psychic emotional healer, and I've been posting videos to help you see life in a different way and to help you heal all your issues and your emotions and to live a better life by giving you tools. And today, my video is about spiritual tools. These are tools that you can use to clear yourself from karma, from problems that you can't deal with, from trying to always take control of everything. Because now everything is about trusting and releasing your control and allowing God to help you, your angels and your guides. And it's so simple. And once you do anything I suggest, then you will see all for yourself that life is really magical. Now, before I go on, I just want to remind you again that if you need Reiki or a private emotional healing session with me, you can contact me on my Reiki site, which is listed below this video. So I want to tell you a story. There are things that have been given to me to help you because this is my passion and this is the reason why I'm here. I'm the type of person who's very analytical, and I'm also have options. Some people are helped in ways that they could get better, but they refuse to do it, or they don't believe it, or they fear it. Fear is your main culprit, because in truth, our world is only about love or fear. So it's very important to release fear, ego, and control, and just allow things to unfold for you, and they will. So, one example that I have is something that you can do. If you have any issues with people, with money, issues that people owe you things, or you have relationship problems or something that you just can't handle, you have tried. One thing you can do that works really well is write a letter to your angels. So I'll give you an example. One of my friends, she had a $6,500 credit card charge. And the reason was because she was bored and she wanted to work and she didn't know what to do. So online, she answered this ad where it said you can make $8,000 a month without leaving your home. And what she had to do was pay $6,500 to do that. I personally would never have done that, but whatever. So after she paid, then she found out that the way she was going to make her money was by advertising on Amazon or eBay, and it's not something she wanted to do. And she had to take these training courses, and she thought about it. Now, they did have a 3-day return policy, but 5 days is when she decided she didn't want to have anything to do with this. And they told her, sorry, you're past the policy. So she wrote them letters, 7 to be exact. She called them on the phone, anything she could think of, and they just kept saying, sorry, you have to pay it, you have to pay it, you have to pay it. So she told me about it. And I said, just write a letter to your angels. And she's like, well, I've already talked to them and they've already turned me down 7 times. So what's this going to do for me? And I said, it's free and it doesn't hurt to try it. So she wrote a letter, Dear Angels, I'm tired of dealing with this problem. I owe $6,500, which I shouldn't have to pay, and I would really like my money back. I have written them, I have talked to them, and all I get is no. And so I'm so tired of dealing with this. So I'm just going to hand it over to you and let you take care of it. And then sign your name, thank you, love, whoever. Once you do that, you need to throw it outside of your window, in another trash, somewhere. Just get it out of your house. Or what you can do, if you can't leave the house or whatever, is you can burn it. And the reason why you do that is to allow the angels the freedom to do what they need to do. And in that same process, you have told them that you trust them, you release control. And so she did that, and 2 weeks later, she got a letter from the bank stating that they would return her money and clear her credit card, and it was done. You see, it's allowing and believing that you do not have to be in control of things. Because in truth, you really never are in control. And the other situation, which most of you don't know, is there are quite a few laws of the universe. And one of the laws is the law of resistance. So by you trying to get something over and over and over again, putting so much energy into anything that you're upset about, stressing over it, then you operate the law of resistance and you get no results whatsoever. So it's just these simple little tools. Now, another tool is if you have a situation where there's a person involved that you just automatically don't get along with, or you've never liked this person as soon as you met them and you don't even know why. And it could be a family member, it could be a boss, it could be a child, it could be a boyfriend, a girlfriend, a husband, a wife, anything like that. You release your karma, because we are really not even human. We are just light beings inhabiting this body temporarily. So you do everything, or you can heal everything through energy and guidance. So in that particular situation, you take that person and you put them outside your aura. So it'd be somewhere like way out there. And all you have to say is, whatever their name is, please forgive me for anything I've ever done to you in a past. And I forgive you too. And that's it. It's done. Now, I'll give you 2 examples. I did this when I learned that I had had a job, many years ago. I was a restaurant server, and I got promoted to be a lunch manager. And the only reason why I took the position was because I love my boss. So I figured, great, he'll teach me and everything will be great. But unfortunately, after he hired me or promoted me, he was promoted to a different restaurant, and so he left. And the manager that came in to take his place was unfortunately a past life nightmare for me. And he did not help me. He was awful. And one of the things that he did was compete with me. I didn't want to compete with this man. I wanted help. And he was the night manager. I was the day manager. So he'd come in during the daytime and brag about how great he was and how great his shift was. And really, he was also the general manager of the whole store, so he's supposed to help me instead of trying to compete with me, and would take off and just leave me by myself. So I was able to handle every situation. And so I had gone to a psychic fair, and I looked for a past life psychic. And she's the one who taught me this. And I told her my situation, and she said to me, she said, this man was in your life in another time frame, and you were also a man that time. And it was like during Robin Hood days, and we used to compete over women. So you see, your energy with other people is never lost. So when you run into people that you think you don't know, you never know. You might know them from another time. And that energy stays there. So the energy between us was competition. The difference is that he was competing. I was over it. So she told me to put him outside my aura and, say, please forgive me for anything I've done to you, and I forgive you too. So I did that. And the next day I went to work, and he showed up as he always does. And he stood there and he stared at me. And you could tell something was going through his mind. And then all of a sudden he just walked up to me, gave me a big hug, and he never competed with me ever again. It was that simple. You see, you don't have to stress over your life situations. There's always ways to heal it by using your guides. Now, another example is this guy friend of mine. He's had this job for, like 7 years. And he was very good at it, and he loved his job and did his job well, and he's, good worker, etc. And then one day they went ahead and they hired someone who was a total nightmare and made his life miserable and went out of his way to abuse him verbally, mentally, get him in trouble, lie about him. This poor friend of mine, he could barely go to work every day. He was just in so much agony and, didn't know what to do about it. And it was frustrating for him. So I told him just to do that little thing. And he did. And he said the next day that man was waiting for him at the door. Now, normally when he shows up, he has nothing good to say about him, just bitch, whine, complain. But that particular day, which was only the next day, he hugged him, patted him on the back, told him what a great worker he was, and never bothered him again. Now, he bothered other people, but he didn't bother him, and that's all that matters. So that's another tool you can use. Now, another one you can use is you have issues or problems and you don't know how to deal with them, as we all do. And visualization is very, very powerful. So you always want to visualize different outcomes and never think about anything negative. Everything must be positive. So in this particular situation, you can visualize yourself a suitcase, and you can take all your problems and stuff them in that suitcase. And then on the outside of that suitcase, you put a label on it and you write, going nowhere. So you can fill up that suitcase with all your issues, all your problems, and it's always about letting them go and allowing the universe to take care of it. So once you have the suitcase full and your note, you zip it back up and you visualize taking that suitcase to the train station. And when the train comes, the door opens and you put your suitcase on that train. And then the train leaves and your problems are all handled. Just like that. You see, we have been taught to fear. We've been taught to worry. We have been taught to control everything. And control is the hardest thing for all of you to let go of, but that is something you must let go of. So if you come across these situations and you utilize these tools, then you will see for yourself how easily it works. And that alone will help you to see life in a different way. Because it's all comes from your head. It all comes from your thoughts. Every negative thing, every emotion that you feel comes from what you're thinking at that particular time. Think about it. You ought to take a day or maybe more and just spend time with you. Spend time alone in your house. Play some music. Go to the ocean. Go to the mountains. Go into nature. Whatever you do, spend time with yourself and start thinking about you and what it is that you want to change about yourself. And always be grateful and say positive affirmations. And that lifts your vibration to a higher level. And then you can manifest. You can manifest anything because your mind is in charge of your life. And so are your thoughts. So when you need to release something, you do it spiritually. Now, if your mind is cluttered with all kinds of thoughts that you can't get rid of, you can visualize anything you want. I've done it like 3 different ways. I'll just ask, because when you want an answer from your guides, you ask a question, and the first answer that comes to your mind is their response. Then once you get that response, you could go, oh, well, that really wasn't real. I didn't really pick that up. I'm not even going to pay attention to that. That is not your guides. That's your ego. Your ego will get in your way all the time, trying to get you to do things that you shouldn't be doing. And you need to be aware of that. So you just ask your guides for help. Now, there's another one that you can do that works super well, is you're going off to work and there might be some people there that, harass you. Or it doesn't even have to be work. It could be anywhere, like you might have an appointment with someone who takes care of your taxes and you know them, but you just don't like being around them because they're impatient, they're kind of gruff. It could be a job. It could be any situation. And I will definitely give you some examples. And what you can do in that situation is, before you go to work, before you go to the doctor, before you go to somebody's house that you know there's going to be somebody there you don't like, before you hang around with your friends, and maybe your friends are completely negative and drive you crazy. I mean, are you following these types of situations? You say in your house, "Dear angels, please keep me from hearing or seeing anything negative today." And then you drive to your destination and you say it again, and it's done. Now I can give you 2 examples, maybe 3. So the first time I did this was I had broken my ankle. I worked at the school district and I was in a cast. Now I was in a walking cast. And I was a special ed assistant. So really all I had to do was, go to classrooms and help these children. And, I had a schedule, which classrooms to go to, whatever. And I would bring my lunch, but my lunch was all the way at the other end of the school complex. And then I'd have to walk all the way down there, walk all the way back to go to my first class. And it was really hard on me with this cast. And, the people that I worked with, if I asked them to take my lunch with them, if you please, could you please take my lunch? It was like, why? I mean, people just weren't nice. And the other situation, which was more important than that one, was I was in a high school, and these boys, how boys are, they were seniors, and they got off threatening me and teasing me, calling me names. And I did go to the principal, and I got no support. And all the principals said, well, it's your word against theirs, so there's nothing I can do about it. I know it's amazing, but that's the school district. Anyway, I said, dear angels, please keep me from seeing or hearing anything negative today. And then I did it again. I had some girl, student, who I didn't even know, who jumped up and saw me and said, here, let me take your lunch. Where's your refrigerator? And I told her, and she took it. And teenagers are very self-absorbed. So that was one thing that happened. And then I went to the class, and those boys were waiting for me. They were standing outside. Now, I live in San Diego, so it's an outdoor type of school. There's no building, but when you say you walk down the hallway, you're just walking down this covered awning or something to get to your next class, but it's not indoors like a building. So anyway, they were waiting for me, and instead of teasing me, laughing at me, flirting with me, whatever they were doing, threatening me, they said, welcome, Miss Whitfield. We're so glad to see you today. And they let me in the classroom, and they never bothered me after that. That's simple. Now, last week, I went to my tax man, and I've been seeing him for at least 10 years. Obviously he's 10 years older. And he's not really the nicest person. He's great with my taxes, but he's kind of gruff, and he has zero patience. And me, I think doing taxes is for the birds, and so I hate it, and I'm not good about getting my stuff together. And every year I try, trust me, I try, but I always forget something. And last year, it wasn't even my fault, but he got angry at me, and he yells at me, and I swore I'd never go back to him. So, this year came along, and it's like, oh, well, I'll just, ask my angels to keep me from hearing or seeing anything negative. And that's what I did. And oh my God, he was like an angel. He was not only nice, he was relaxed, he was mellow, he was patient. He was the opposite of everything he ever has been when he takes care of me. So there's another tool for you. Now, I skipped on to this and forgot to finish the other one because, to be quite honest with you, I forgot. So now it came to my head, and now I remember. So if you have these negative thoughts and you can't get rid of them, you can just visualize going inside your head. And there's 3 things you can do. You can cut cords that tie you to other people, because trust me, you are tied spiritually with everyone. And relationships, oh my God, especially. Now, you can call Archangel Michael, and you can say, Archangel Michael, I need you to cut these cords. How many are there? And all of a sudden, you'll get a number. I mean, it could be 15. It could be 500. I mean, today, it was 15,000 cords that was wrapped around this man. And so I just asked Archangel Michael to cut them, and I just visualize him taking his sword and slashing them 15,000 times. And it's done. You can, have a like visualize a hose in your head. And you can go, I'm going to hose down my brain and all the garbage that's in there. And when I did that, the first thing that came to my mind was this thick, black, sticky tar that was like stuck. And so I took this hose and I visualized like a fireman's hose, because the water that comes out is so powerful and so intense. And just hosing it down and hosing it down. And I'm cleaning and cleaning and cleaning everything away. And then I'm asking it to go down to the center of the earth to be recycled. And that does it. You can ask your guides, how many firecrackers do I need to blow this person up, if it's a person? And they'll give you a number, and always go with it. Always trust what you receive. And that's how you receive more and more and more. So I blow it up and just always put them way outside your aura. And then just visualize a bunch of firecrackers blowing them up and releasing it that way. You can think of anything that you want to do, anything that you can relate to, or any of those ideas that I gave you. There's tons of things to do. So you can write letters and burn them. And it gets to a situation like where I'm in this situation, because I've been doing this for so many years, and I don't even have to go through the whole process. I just do it. And the reason is because every single solitary thing that I pick up, I follow. And I don't question it, ever. Because yes, we have free will. But that doesn't mean that you have to use it all the time. Especially like for instance, I went to Oregon. I did not want to go to Oregon. I didn't even like it when I was there. And my daughter says, well, you have free will, Mom. You didn't have to go. Well, of course I have free will. And I don't have to go. But there was a reason that I needed to be there. And why put it off? Because it's going to come back anyway. So why put anything off? Do you know what I'm saying? Just follow it. Because you don't know any reason, but you will find out eventually. Spirit always has your back. Because anger, fear, hatred, violence, frustration, health, illness, that's all earthly things. That's not reality. So your mind can heal you with your thoughts. You can do anything just with your thoughts. And then also, you create everything that happens to you with your thoughts. So you need to know that too. So I'm going to add that to this video about how you are in charge of your life. And it's your responsibility to take charge and to know that any negative thing that happens to you, you created it. Take responsibility for who you are, and don't walk around looking at other people and judging them, because nobody else exists on this planet but you. Because we are one, and everyone just reflects you and just teaches you what you need to know and what you need to change about yourself. Now, so many people I know, they don't want to believe that because they're not ready to see how they create things in their own life. And they just feel better about blaming others for their problems. And I don't care if it was a relationship that cheated on you. I don't care if someone stole from you. I don't care any negative thing that's happened to you. You created it one way or the other. And you need to take responsibility for it. And when you start forgiving and realizing that you need to change yourself, and you use these tools that I've given you, And unfortunately, at the moment, I can't really think of anything else. Is not coming to my head. But it all works the same. It really does. And it's magical. And then on the other hand, you use your mind to create everything that you want. You can create money. You can create a relationship. You can create a house, an apartment. You can create anything. That's your gift to do it. So you have to believe that you are. That's all it takes. That's why it's so important for you to heal yourself, your past, your issues, your problems. Stay away from negativity and negative people. Only be around positive. And trust me, this is why it's so hard. Think about it. You turn on the TV, there's nothing positive. And it doesn't even have to be all that negative propaganda in news. Propaganda oozes out of your television set. Soap operas do not teach you about love and forgiveness, peace, happiness, and wisdom. No, they talk about the old paradigm. Hate, revenge, trusting people, murder, robberies. I mean, everything negative. Movies, fear, thrillers, anything to get you to fear, afraid to go outside, afraid someone's going to attack you. Do you know if you put all that energy into that thought, you create it to happen to you? And this goes with everything. How you look, how you think. If you want to lose weight and say you're fat, you're going to stay fat because that's what you're telling the universe. This is what you're creating. You see, you can take all of this information and use it for yourself. Now, there was a woman who went to a seminar. It was actually Abraham Hicks seminar. And Abraham Hicks is awesome. If you don't know her, you ought to find her on YouTube. Anyway, this woman wanted to go to one of her seminars and didn't have the money. And instead of complaining and saying, oh, I don't have the money, I can't afford it, she said, I'm going to get the money. I'm going to manifest this money. And so she said, I am manifesting money so I can go to her seminar and I always get what I want. And I always get what I receive. And then she let it go. And one day, her and her friend took a walk in nature and she saw this shiny object. And she looked, bent down, picked it up, and it was like a diamond ring. And her friend's like, that's probably some cubic zirconium or something. It's not real. I just throw it away. Well, thank God she didn't listen to her friend. She took the ring and she brought it to a jeweler. And do you know that ring was worth $9,000? So she created more than enough money to let her go to that seminar and do whatever else she needed to do with that money. And this is how it works. You can create parking spots. You can create anything your heart desires, all with how you think. Use your spiritual tools to clear your karma from others also. So you put them outside your aura, like I said, and say, please forgive me for anything I've ever done to you in a past, and I forgive you too. And it's done. Write your letters. Do a lot of visualization. You create your future by what you think and what you visualize. You create it all by yourself. And if you took one day and actually wrote a list of everything negative that came out of your mouth, everything negative that came out of your thoughts, you would see how extremely negative you are. And all of this stuff You're throwing out to the universe and creating it for yourself. Now, trust me, it takes time. It takes practice. Because it's not a natural knee-jerk reaction for you. But it will become one. So first what you do is when a negative thought comes to you, you go, oh, no, I stop it. I take it back, no, 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 no. And then you're not going to create it. And so you just keep doing it. Every time something negative crosses your thoughts. And eventually, you won't even have to say no, because you will already know that, you might get upset about something, you might start to get angry, and then bam, right away you go, okay, well, I need to heal this. And you breathe. Breathing is our gift. You were born, you took your first breath, and when you leave the planet, you take your last breath. So breathing is our gift from God. So to heal yourself, to get rid of pain, to get rid of any emotion, you breathe. Breathe in your nose and hold it. And blow it out. And tell yourself, I breathe in love. So fill yourself up with all the love energy. And then blow out. I breathe out love. And then you're blowing out love to everyone else. And you can change your life in an instant when you're ready. When you're ready to take responsibility for yourself. When you are ready to use the tools that are so simple. You forgive every single person in your life, and you don't have to call them on the phone. You don't have to see them. You can sit in your own comfortable chair and do it with everyone. Family, children, anybody. Clear it and live a beautiful life full of love, peace, and happiness. And don't pay attention to other people and their issues and their problems. And if they want to know how come your life has gotten so better, then you can share with them. Because they have to be open to receive. Because we're energy. And if they go, oh, you're crazy, you're stupid, and then you're not flowing positive energy back and forth. Just let it go. And don't help anybody that does not want to be helped. You cannot do that for other people. You can only help the people that want to be helped. You would be surprised what your guides do for you. I want to give you another example, which I will never forget this. But, there was a time, of course, that I didn't trust myself or see myself for the person that I really was. And other people would tell me, oh, you're a healer, or you're this. Everything was positive, of course. And I'm like, I don't know. I don't feel it. Because, when everything is so easy for you, it's natural, so you don't have to struggle to do it. So you think, well, it doesn't mean anything. But it means a lot to a lot of other people. And it will mean more to you when you realize that that is your gift to the world, or whatever your gift is. Oh my, what was it that I wanted to share? I do this all the time, and I'm sure you do it too. And it's because, really, it's not because you're old, because that's negative. It's because the universe wants you to tap into your intuition. So, let's see. What, oh my, was it? I don't know. And because I'm on video, you know what? Maybe I will pause this. Can I pause it? No, I can't. Oh well. I don't remember. I'm sorry. Anyway, I hope I got my message across to you. And you can also message me if you have any questions. Or how can I handle this? How can I handle that? Because you can handle everything all by yourself without anybody around. Okay? Well, I hope you enjoyed this, and I know it'll help you if you utilize it. Be smart. Utilize it. Have a blessed day.